Alright, I'm going into this one without a script because I just keep seeing videos of people cheering, absolutely losing their mind when Maria from Sonic meets her fate. Even more than that, there's people begging to see it happen live in Sonic Movie 3. And if I'm being honest, I'm also right there with everyone else. Paramount! Cap Maria on screen and my life is yours. But in a way, it feels a little wrong. Maybe we're teetering on the edge of depraved. And again, don't get me wrong, like I just did a Kratos impression encouraging this. But it does feel a little odd because this is a sentimental moment. It's maybe even one of the most sentimental moments in the whole franchise. And Chip doesn't count, I was cheering when he kicked the bucket. But Maria ain't no Build-A-Bear. She's a human character, a kid nonetheless, and it's a character that's a core element of who Shadow is. I mean, the whole reason Shadow is an anti-hero is because he has his worldviews that are negative, yeah, but he's got that little pinch of good in him because Maria showed him that there's more to life than the chaos he so frequently encounters. Maria meeting her end at such a young age and so pointlessly, as someone who we only ever saw bring out the good in people, well, it should be a tragic moment, but nah. The mere thought of Maria's end playing out in Sonic Movie 3 has people foaming at the mouth. And when the Sonic Symphony showed it, people were cheering louder than they already were. God damn it, if right now is just not the best time to be a Sonic fan. But alright, as an outsider, or maybe as someone who is a fan but doesn't understand why we do this, let me break it down why such a tragic moment in the series has become a beacon of light and a symbol of hope, surprisingly. Something that when we see get acknowledged, we just can't help but get excited. It's because it's a good thing. As messed up as it sounds, Maria getting capped is a good thing. Sega and maybe even the movies acknowledging Maria getting capped is a great thing. Now, Sonic was a big part of my childhood. I played the games, I had the figures, I watched Sonic X. Sonic was just cool. And one of the first Sonic games that I truly remember was Sonic 06. And despite its gameplay, this game brought some serious energy. Like that opening cinematic, the soundtrack, the tense moments, the game just took itself very seriously, and I loved that, despite all of its jank. For me, it's just always felt natural to see Sonic live in a human world, and not those Pixar humans from Unleashed, like actual people. It makes the world feel more real, the consequences just seem more dire, and because of that responsibility Sonic has to protect said people of the world, it just makes him feel even cooler. I don't know how else to put it. But Sega didn't like that approach, because Sonic was getting made fun of, and it wasn't helping his case that this happened. Which, other than that, the story is actually kind of solid. Like, I swear. But this didn't work, because you can't have a game that could be seen as taking itself too seriously, and then also have gameplay like this. If the game was finished and polished, I'm sure things would be entirely different right now. But the game wasn't finished, as we all know, so it was absolutely ripped apart. So the game performed poorly, and Sega must have just saw that as the more realistic human elements and serious storytelling not working. You know, not the fact that the gameplay was unfinished. No, the humans were the issue. Now, after Sonic 06, we never saw Sonic in these more realistic humanoid environments. Or did we ever really see him have interactions or stakes as serious or ambitious that the Adventure series saw? And I guess Knuckles did almost commit, but I really can't take it seriously when they're talking like this.
Give me a break! What's up with all this drama?
And that's just a great way to tackle that situation, Sonic. That's a good choice of words there. So after Sonic 06, there was kind of a downfall of Sonic. Pretty much any conversation surrounding Sonic had a lot of negative connotation to it. Like with how a lot of people say that Sonic had a rough transition into 3D. Or, the statement that Sonic was just never good. And as a Sonic fan, how do you defend yourself against those claims when the games we were getting embraced a more cartoony approach and never took itself seriously?
Hey, where are you going?
To find Baldy McNosehair, of course.
So fast forward, and Sonic Movie 1 comes out. We got to see Sonic interact with a human world and deal with more serious plots and themes, and it did numbers at the box office. It was well received. And I mean, hey, maybe it's just a fluke, because by all accounts, the first Sonic movie should not have been the absolute banger that it was. It had everything going against it. So when a second Sonic movie was made, and it embraced more of the game's identity, and it was again based in the real world with serious story beats, pretty much just doing what the first did but better, which it's honestly strange to see a sequel do that. But movie 2 did even better. It's not just a fluke, like this is what people want to see. And then on the game front, we get Sonic Frontiers, which critics seem kind of up in the air about it, but the mass reception seems to very much enjoy the direction that the series is heading in compared to what it's been doing these last few years. Although, I will say, Frontiers definitely feels half-baked. And don't get me wrong, the gameplay is solid enough, and the story takes itself seriously with the characters and their respective arcs. So maybe it's just me, but I feel like Frontiers was Sonic Team testing the waters with the higher-ups and the general audiences on whether or not they would be able to embrace the style of game that Frontiers is and the style of game that the Adventure series was known for. Now, I am entirely of the impression that the movies helped in a big way in which how the mainstream viewed Sonic. Because when it's done right, the series can take itself more seriously and be well received. The issue was never 06 or the Adventure series and the stories that they tell. The issue was Sega putting out half-cooked games. And when audiences didn't like what they were being given, Sega just went, oh, it must be the fact that we gave Shadow a gun. And don't get me wrong, like the gun is goofy, but it's fun. Give Shadow his blicky back, please. But after the movies and Frontiers, it kind of feels like Sega sees that they could insert Sonic into more serious situations and let these characters have character. That's the reasoning why it's so hyped to see a 12-year-old get blasted. Nope. And that's the reason why it's actually hyped to see Maria's death be acknowledged, because it shows the fans that Sonic can have personality again. We can explore these more serious and mature themes. The stories that the series tells can feel captivating once more. I'll tell you right now, I would personally be the agent that pulls the trigger, so long as it means we get no more moments like these.
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me! I'm totally calling him.
But rather, we finally get to see the return to form. We get those moments of euphoric highs, moments with such personality and excitement that we all love.